You're now watching Wilmington Plugged In, where you can get all the information you need on local bands, shows, events, and basically all the happenings that are here now in Wilmington. Stay tuned. We have an exciting show for you guys today. Hello and welcome to Wilmington Plugged In. Thanks for tuning in today. My name is Charlie Elliott and I'll be your host today. We have a great show lined up. We have a couple of guests, two very special guests joining us today. The first is Sean from Wilmington Unplugged, and we also have Jamie from Grotto. Right now we got Sean with us. Sean, thanks for joining us on the show. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. Thanks for having me.
No problem. Okay, now there are some of us who might not know what your organization is about and what you guys do. Could you tell us maybe a little bit about your organization?
Sure. Wilmington Unplugged is a monthly music showcase. We do it the first Tuesday of every month, and we usually line up about it's either 4 or 5 acts, and they do 25-minute sets apiece. And the idea is just get local musicians a place to play in front of people who wouldn't normally hear them.
Yeah, basically get their name out
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
You know, try to get them to show. And what is your occupation? What exactly do you do with this organization?
Well, I work with I guess you would call him the president, Billy Mellon, and basically the idea is to just every month find the 4 or 5 acts that we're gonna put up, and so my role is basically to just help them, find new, fresh acts that haven't been there before.
Okay, so basically just look around town, maybe come up with
maybe
couple ideas for them.
Scout, you might want to call it.
And how did you originally get this job? Did you start this with the president, or did he just come find you, or how did that happen?
Interestingly, I actually, when I moved to Wilmington 2 years ago, that was my first gig. I played at Wilmington Unplugged, and then gradually I played a few of them, and I got to know Billy pretty well, and he just, I started to meet a lot of people in the industry, so he decided to have me start helping them out.
Okay, interesting. And now, what kind of events go on at your downtown locations? Is it just shows for bands, or is anything else happening? Or?
Well, we do the monthly showcase, and that's usually at the Whiskey downtown, and then we also we help put out other shows. We've been doing some shows at City Stage off of Level 5, and basically we'll put our name on a show that we're helping to arrange. So we do the monthly showcase, but then we also have our name on some of the other events that we help put on downtown with other organizations.
Got to get your name out there.
Of course, of course.
Now, I was reading on your website, that's WilmingtonUnplugged.com,
Yes.
That you guys host a variety of bands and music genres. Could you go into detail about that? Exactly who do you guys play and what kind of music is situated there?
Well, we usually like to incorporate any and all kinds of music. We like to showcase all the many different talents that are in town. In Wilmington, Unplugged is kind of is almost a misnomer because a lot of people plug in. But the idea is to just every week we try and have every month. Sorry, we try and have people of all different genres of music to play to give the audience a wide variety of what's going on in town.
I can appreciate that. Now, right on there's a genre called noise. Tell me a little bit about that. Nobody knows what that means. It's just a word, so we're not sure.
Well, noise is it can be anything. Most of the noise sets I've seen have been there's 910 Noise, which is a collective of noise musicians in town. But basically, it's pretty much all electronic, and they do everything from, I've seen them take a violin and run it through a series of distortion and delay pedals, to they have program beats, and some of them it's almost like free jazz. Free jazz is kind of anything goes. Well, noise is you can make it as musical or non-musical as you want to.
So basically, it's just impromptu people going up there, just trying to throw a beat together with whatever instrument they may have at that time.
And experimenting with technology, basically.
Sounds pretty exciting. I might have to go up there and see what that's all about. Now, what is the biggest venue that Wilmington Unplugged has hosted an event in?
When we recently co-hosted the Take the Lake Music Festival at Greenfield Lake, and that was in cooperation with Winoka Records, which is a small label in Wilmington. And basically, we did it together, and between Winoka Records and Wilmington Unplugged, we came up with the 7 acts that we're going to play that night.
Oh, wow. Must have been a pretty big show then.
It was, yeah. It was a lot of fun.
Sorry I missed it. Now, out of all the artists that have performed at your organization, have any of them hit it big in the music industry? Maybe caught a record label after they played with you guys, or?
Well, I hate the shameless self-promotion, but Wilmington Unplugged certainly helped me get to where I am now, and it helped us start a record label in town. And I mean, there's been Charlie the Horse is another local group, and a lot of them go to UNCW, and they've kind of helped put them on the map. And I know Big Al Hall has certainly benefited a lot from being on the Unplugged stage. That off the top of my head, that's probably the 3 biggest acts that have come out of Wilmington Unplugged.
So it would be a big advantage for a band or a local artist to participate in an event from Unplugged.
Yeah, absolutely. It puts you in front of eyes and ears that we think matter in town. So it's definitely a good exposure for people that that don't usually play out.
Well, I play a little saxophone, so I might have to come up there myself and see if you guys can put me on the map.
Absolutely.
How could a lover of music, such as myself, get involved in your organization? Maybe have some kind of part in it?
Well, we're willing. We take all the help we can get since we're small and nonprofit. The best way is probably to visit us on Facebook, and through there you can find all of our contact information. But really, the best way to do it is to just come out to the showcases every month and introduce yourself to the people there, because it's usually the same crowd that goes out every month, and then there's the people that's spilling off the streets. But just showing up to the showcase is a good way to get involved.
Like you said, Facebook's also good, but Facebook's basically good for anything.
Of course it is.
You can get anything on Facebook.
Of course.
Now, through my sources, and well, of course you just told me too, that you were in a band as well called Onward Soldiers.
Yes, that is correct.
Tell us a bit about your band, how you guys met, how it all came about, and how you got the idea to be in that band.
Well, I moved down here about 2 years ago, and I was passing out demos, and it got into the hands of my drummer, Kevin Rhodes. And from there, we kind of just met some people around town. I put out a Craigslist ad. We found a bass player, and since then we've been playing in and out of town a lot. And One Tree Hill got us on the show twice, so that's been a big help. And I mean, we're recording our 2nd album. We just put out our 1st in April, so we're gonna go on tour and support that, and see where we can go from there.
Now, what is the name of that 1st album?
It's called Ghosts in This Town.
Okay, and you said One Tree Hill had you on there. You just basically played some background music for the show?
We were on the season premiere this season.
Really?
And they played Stick to Your Guns, the title track off of the album. And then about 4 or 5 episodes later, they had me on there, and I played in a bar-type scene, and they filmed me playing a song acoustic.
I got a big movie star here now. And have you played in any of the Unplugged events yourself?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I've played. That was my first gig, and I've played in several events since. I mean, I'm always, I guess, the fallback guy since I'm involved. If somebody cancels, then it's kind of on me.
It's always on you, right?
Yeah.
Now, what do you think about the music scene here in Wilmington? I mean, I've been here a while, and there's definitely a lot of bands here in Wilmington.
Oh, yeah. I think it's we've got a really diverse music scene. I mean, like we were talking about before, there's everything from noise to alternative country to pop music. I mean, there's a lot going on, and and you really have to look for it. But I mean, I think we've got a great music scene here.
And one more question before we go to break. You think you'd be able to get us a performance here at the show?
Yeah, I think that would be all right.
All right, well, thanks. All right, well, here's a word from our sponsors. We'll be back.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming? Show your broad stripes and bright stars. Make your voice heard. Get involved. Get out and vote.
And we're back, guys. Right now we have Jamie Bibo with us from Grotto joining us on the show. How are you today, Jamie?
I'm lovely.
Good, good. Now, for those of us and our audience probably does not know exactly what Grotto is, you think maybe you could get us more familiar with it and tell us what it's about?
Well, I mean, this is a little vague, but we're a music collective, a local music collective, and we're a group of friends, and we started off doing a mixtape. And it's composed of local musicians. I mean, a lot of people in our collective are in bands themselves. I'm personally not, but so we take submissions, but it's often like people that we know, but you know, it's branched out more and more as it's gone on. We've recently completed our first like whole year of mixtapes, but we do a lot more than that. We have shows, like every time we come out with one, we have an event for it. Like, we have a great turnout, and we have a website which we're looking at doing a lot more with.
Yeah, I'm a little familiar with your website. Now, some people out there, you explained it a little bit, but could you explain exactly what a mixtape is for people who don't know exactly what it is?
Yeah. Well, it's just, I mean, it's just the submissions. We take the best ones each month, and we compile them and mix it and release it, and they all come in handmade, usually environmentally friendly container books that we hand paint and everything. Or we've done it. The thing is, we do it different every time to keep it fresh.
Keep the variety going. Mm-hmm. And it's good to be green, especially nowadays.
Yeah.
A lot of people on you with the green. So have you ever had a situation where you actually were at a show and you saw a band, you liked their music, and you went up to them and you were like, hey, we'd like you on our mixtape? Or is
Absolutely,
it just strictly
all the
submissions?
time. I mean, that's like why we benefit from having like several people in the group, is that like we're always like kind of scouts, like Sean was saying. Like I do that constantly. Like my ears are just more open now that we're doing this, and I'm always looking for new like stuff that's like undiscovered or whatever.
So that's your role, basically. It's just to go out here and look for bands and music. Or
Part of it. That's kind of like a role that we all share.
And well, exactly what role do you particularly do for Grotto?
Well, in particular, I do a lot of the flyers, a lot of the some of the album artwork. Not like consistently, but I've done it more than any other one person. Just coordination, organization, stuff like that.
So basically just overlooking everything, make sure everything's well. So you are a bit of a drawer doing the album artwork, and I bet those look good. We'll have to get some of those in. And how frequently do you guys put out a mixtape?
Well, we were doing them once a month, but we're actually shifting gears and trying to do them more based on the project. We wanted, like, they were kind of just submissions, like based on like whatever kind of turnout we got from people, and we're kind of thinking that it's a little random at this point, and we want to move towards making the albums have more of a more cohesion and make them more deliberate effort on the artist's part towards that, as opposed to just one of their songs. Like, for instance, we would like to do like a holiday album or something.
Oh, yeah,
I mean, that's a little cheesy, but it's a funny part about it.
Yeah, but everybody likes the holidays.
Yeah, sure.
And I understand what you're saying. You got to make sure the music flows together on the same mixtape. So you can't be having, something out of the ballpark for, the first track, and then something, ridiculously for the second track. And do you guys just stick to the Wilmington region to find songs for your mixtape, or have you branched out to other counties and states? Or?
It's primarily Wilmington, just because that's where we live. I mean, but no, yeah, like we've had bands come down from New York for our shows, and when we go other places, we're always telling them about it. It's based in Wilmington, but we're not specifically like just Wilmington. We would like people to come here, basically.
So somebody let's say I had a friend who was in a band down in, let's say, Georgia. Could they just send a submission of their CD into you?
Absolutely.
And it could possibly be on the mixtape?
Absolutely.
Okay, I see. But I guess it would be better for them to also come up here and perform, so that people will know more about them.
Well, the mixtape is it's easy for people to send a track and stuff, and that's all well and good and stuff. But then, by someone who sends one, that's kind of like getting their foot in the door and be like, well, you want to come to a show, that kind of thing. And yeah, never mind.
Where can someone listen to these mixtapes? Do they have to go and buy them at the store or a local store?
Well, they're all free.
Okay.
We've given all our mixtapes out for free, and we do like a limited run of physical ones, but they are available for download on the website.
Online on the website, okay. And what is the website one more time? Is it
mixgrotto.com?
Mixgrotto.com. And do you ever have exhibitions or a show where you might showcase some of the artists that are featured on your mixtape?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, at all the for every mixtape there is a release party show, and then we'll have like 3 or 4 acts that have been on the mixtape.
And that's about once a month, or depending on how many songs you get for each mixtape. That's a once a month thing, but we're doing a lot more shows than that these days. And is that usually at one location, or do you guys just switch up the locations every now and again, or?
A lot of switching up. We're kind of sitting in a place that's unofficially called the Grotto above the Eat Spot. It's like a new venue. And it's 2 floors.
It must be pretty nice.
Yeah, it's really nice. There's paint on these jeans from it.
Earlier we had Sean on the show from Wilmington Unplugged, who is in a band himself called Onward Soldiers. Have you ever collaborated with his band, maybe on your mixtape or maybe at one of your shows?
Yeah, they've played 1 or 2 of our release parties at least, and Sean's played in other bands for it, and they've been on several of our mixtapes.
And do you know how many mixtapes have you put out?
12.
You've put out 12, and how long has this organization been going on?
A year.
About a year, so it has been about once a month.
Yeah.
Then. Okay, that's and you said you're not in a band, but earlier I seen you messing with the guitar. Do you ever play? Have you played any songs for your mixtape, maybe, or just?
No, not. Well, I've collaborated on a song, but not playing guitar. I was actually whistling, but
Well, you gotta have whistling in some songs.
Absolutely.
That's a good part.
It can make or break a song, but no, I mean I'm musical, but not necessarily in a band that puts out anything.
Okay.
I improvise too much.
Just the master whistler.
Yeah, totally.
And how has the reception of Mixed Grotto been to the Wilmington community? Do most people usually receive you guys well, really like you guys? There hasn't been any negative feedback, has there?
Well, that's the thing, is that I don't really see what there would be to be negative about it. I mean, we're really like, it's not for personal gain aside from just like having a cool thing in town. I mean, I've had friends of mine in other bands and stuff come up to me and tell me like, man, since you've been around, like it seems like there's a lot more going on just in general, whether it has to do with us or not, just because people are more in tune to it. I mean, the idea was to get bands who were doing shows that no one was coming out to, and then putting them together and getting all those fans together and kind of like whirlpooling interest and attention.
So an artist, when they submit to your mixtape, there's no royalties or anything. The main thing, their goal is to try to get their name out there, and that's basically what you guys do, is to get them more associated with the community, so maybe these people can enjoy their music.
Yeah, and it's like as like a scout, like in that role, like when we hear something cool, it's like we automatic. It's like we have the ability to say to all the people who like, you know, care and go to the shows, like, hey, these guys are good, and they're like, oh, they probably will be, you know, like it's, yeah.
Now, do you usually keep up with how many mixtapes are given out and downloaded? Have you guys been?
I would not be the guy to know how many are downloaded. I'm sure our web guy could say that, but we're not necessarily looking like paying too much attention to those numbers.
You're not worried
but
about
the mixtapes themselves, we know how much are given out because there's only X amount made per month. Yeah.
Yeah, I understand. Maybe I can get one of them mixtapes. You know, maybe after the show. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any with me, but I can definitely hook you up with one.
That'd be pretty nice. Now, I asked the same question to Sean earlier on the show, but have any of the artists on your mixtape hit it big, blown up, just basically got, you know, X amount more popular, just exponentially got more popular because of your mixtape?
Well, some of the people that he mentioned, like Charlie the Horse and stuff, I don't want to take too much credit, but I think that, like, you know, we put people in shows that they would not have been playing. You know, people would have been playing like shows for like 10, 15 people or something, and then I mean, for instance, we had a show at City Stage, and it was like 200 people or more. I don't know. It seemed like a lot.
Yeah, there's probably a lot of people there. You don't necessarily count everybody. Now, One Tree Hill is filmed in town. Has there been any artist collaboration with One Tree Hill from your mixtape?
No. I mean, just not directly, but like Sean said, he was on it, and Onward Soldiers are on it.
So I guess basically his band was the only band that has been featured.
As far as I know.
But you could probably get some more out there. You know, I'm sure Mixed Grotto is getting more popular.
Yeah,
as it goes on. So.
And yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to take credit for that with specifically One Tree Hill. But I mean, I'd love to be able to get bands on the show. It's great publicity and whatnot.
I understand. All right. Well, that's it. We'll be back with a live performance from Sean.
Hey, you look like you could use a change of scenery.
You bet I could.
Well, have you ever thought about catching the waves in California?
Totally, dude.
Or what about walking the busy streets of New York City?
I've always wanted to go there.
What if I told you you could sunbathe on the beaches of the Virgin Islands?
I'd say sign me up, except that I'm in school. I don't have time to do all of that. There's no way.
Yes, there is. The National Student Exchange is your answer. The National Student Exchange allows college students to travel abroad to over 200 colleges and universities in the United States. 48 states and 3 U.S. territories participate, so there are plenty of places to choose from. It's a great way to break out of your comfort zone and explore new cultures. It also allows students to learn from different instructors and explore exciting new job opportunities. So go check out some new places. Or you could just stay here in the library.
You're crazy. I'll see you later. I got a lot of packing to do.
Today, welcome back to the show, guys. We got one last treat for you today. We got Sean from Wilmington Unplugged. He's going to show us a performance here.
She was my first love when I was just a kid. So naive, I didn't believe she'd do me in. And I was just a lonely boy and you were in. The best I'd seen in all my dreams, the top of the list. And when the lights went out, all the sights and sounds were spinning me around. Caught you dancing in the clouds. You were staying off the ground. That lion on the prowl, keeping to himself, telling nobody oh, telling nobody oh, telling nobody oh, telling nobody oh.
Then you broke my heart and stole my car. Gotta find you, babe, wherever you are. Yeah, and we'll let it slide. Just let it ride. Don't let it die. When only the tide can float away, oh, oh, can float away, oh, oh, can float away, oh, oh, can float away, oh, oh. On the city streets, the place to meet the pretty girls. Whiskey swimming heads are spinning in my world. Every star is shining eyes like diamonds hit the sky. And only cheaters pay the meters on the fly. And when the lights went out, all the sights and sounds were spinning me around. Caught you dancing in the clouds. You were staying off the ground. That lion on the prowl, keeping to himself, telling nobody, oh, oh, telling nobody, oh, oh, telling nobody, oh, oh, telling nobody, oh, oh, oh.
All right, that was a great performance from Sean. Once again, thank you to Sean for a great performance. Thank you to everyone who was watching the show. Like we said, we got Wilmington Unplugged in town. We also got Mixed Grotto. They're putting out a mixtape every couple minutes. Sean, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
It was a great song, Sean.
Thank you very much.
I got some real heartfelt emotions from the song. I don't know if you saw me over here. I shed a couple of tears. I was definitely feeling the song.
Well, thank you.
It was great. I was singing along with it also, but. So this is your guitar right here?
Yes, this is my guitar.
And how long have you had this guitar?
I've had this guitar for 4 years.
4 years?
Yeah.
It's still playing through the rough, huh?
Yeah, it's getting a little bit rough.
Well, I thought it sounded pretty good.
Thank you.
I don't know. You know, I'm not guitar inclined, so like I said, I play the saxophone. So.
Yeah, it's treated me well. So, you know.
Sounded pretty good though. I enjoyed the song. Maybe we can get you back on the show for another performance. I don't know how many songs you got.
I
that you can do.
got plenty.
Oh, excuse me. And Wilmington Unplugged. That's him. He's handling everything for that. If you guys ever want to, try, yeah, go ahead and get us a little serenade going. Thanks, guys, for having us today. We got a great show today lined up. Thank you to Jamie Bibo from Mixed Grotto and his mixtapes. Thank you to Sean for everything he's done. I want to thank our producers and our directors today. Thank Mr. P. Excuse me, I'm supposed to call him Rich. I would like to thank Rich today. Thank you to our cameraman and our camerawoman. And everybody did a great job. Wilmington, good to see you guys. All right, and like I said, thanks for having us today on the show. And we'll be with you guys shortly.